To that end, I wanted to make a little mini movement practice to help people who do feel they are struggling to get off the floor easily without help, because it's a nice skill to be able to maintain through your life. This is largely more functional movement stuff than classical Pilates, but some of it is based on Ramana's work. If you don't know who Ramana is, don't worry. But anyway, a chunk of this was actually inspired by a mat work I did with my teacher, Tess, at the Pilates lab, like just a couple of weeks after this, or like probably the same week, honestly, that my friend asked me this, so it was kind of synchronous. Hip walks to start, so feet out in front. I'm working on flexing through my ankles, so I'm trying to keep my feet active. If that doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. It helps me stay engaged. And then you lift one hip, and you try to walk backwards without using your hands. And if you can't move very much at all, that is okay. Work at it, and you will see some progress. And you are also, guess what, if you struggle through this, and when you get to the end of your space or your mat, reverse directions, you're gonna see me struggling through some of this as well. I have some hip mobility issues, especially on the left side. You're gonna see an asymmetry in my body. Just because I'm a Pilates teacher does not mean I've got it physically all figured out. Okay. So we do the hip walks forward and back. Then we have this Z sit. I'm gonna sit with my right leg in front, left leg behind. You can go a little wider if that's more comfortable. And I cannot get my hip comfortably down, but it's not causing me pain, so I'm gonna be fine. If it is causing you a lot of discomfort to try to sit like this, because your hip is kind of crampy or really tight, slide a small blanket or a small towel to give yourself some support there. That is a great option. And this exercise, you just, to the best of your ability, rock back and forth, and you can definitely use your hands if you are at a stage of your practice where having your hands come to the floor would help. Or have your hands out to the side, goalpost arms, or even behind your head. And then once you've gotten an even number, I would say probably, 10 on each leg is sufficient. Then switch legs, sit the other way. And again, and you can see, now let's see when my left leg is behind. It's a lot more challenging for me. That's okay. And again, take your arms, find a good spot for your arms. I encourage you to use the same spot you did last time to stay even. Also, if you propped on the first side and you needed it on this side, I encourage that to again stay even. All right. We'll come back to the Z sit in a minute, but I want to give you a little break because it's challenging. Another thing you can try to do is start with your legs crossed and roll onto your knees, and then cross your legs and roll back. And roll onto your knees, and cross your legs to come parallel and roll back. I'm going to switch now, bring my non-dominant leg in front, and guess what? That's a little more, actually it's the rolling back that's more challenging when I have my non-dominant leg in front. And now I'm going to alternate. So I've got the left in front, I'm going to switch the legs and roll back. Got the right in front, switch the legs and roll back. And I'm going to alternate a few more times. And I have a pretty thick mat here. And I do have sensitive knees, but my mat is thick enough that it's not really an issue. If you have sensitive knees, a blanket or a towel on top of your mat usually helps. All right, I'm going to do one more. My left hip is like, you're really making me work right now. Why are you doing this? So I like that rocking exercise. Now we're going to do the Z-sit, and we're going to be coming up to kneeling. If you need balance support, I've got my reformer right here I could grab onto if I needed to. I would say do this near a wall or have a really sturdy, heavy chair nearby, or maybe even a couch. There's nothing wrong with needing balance support. Take what you need. Just doing this is going to do you a world of good, even if you need a little help. So I'm back in my Z-sit. I'm going to do one rock back, and I'm going to try to come onto my knees, and then I'm going to try to sit back down, keeping that same leg in front. Right leg is in front, rock up, rock back. And I'm trying to minimize any big rock back. I'm trying to keep it one fluid motion. One more on this side. We're just going to do it on one side at a time. I tried it alternating. I didn't think it was that fun. So we're just going to do one on each side. So now I've got the left leg in, and we do one rock back to initiate, and come onto the knees, and then rock back as subtly as possible. And again, it's a lot harder for me on this side. Why? I don't know. I did martial arts. I got hit a lot in sparring. I got hit by a car 12 years ago. It did some damage. Who's to say why things are? They just are. And again, using your hands is also an option here. All right, I do one more on this side. And I'm actually going to stay up now. You could roll all the way back. But now we're going to practice just coming to standing. So I'm going to actually just 3 reps, step onto my right foot, but stay kneeling. And then 3, just to my left foot. And again, this might be a place where you need a sturdy piece of furniture or a wall to help support you. Now, alternating. Step right, bring it back. Step left, bring it back. Right, and left, and right, and left. Now, just on the right leg, let's see if we can come to standing 3 times. Step right and stand, step back down. Step right, stand up, lead with the left leg to step back down. Step up, and down. Now switching legs, stepping up with the left, and coming back down. And guess what? If you've gotten to this point in the video, and you're like, no thank you, too much, go back to whatever we did before that you really liked, and that really helped you. All right, alternating. Step right, left leads down, step left, right leads down. Step up right, down, step up left, and down. One more each set, or each side. Again, if something doesn't feel right at this time, nothing wrong with going back and what made you happy earlier. To finish, a little bit of standing marches. We often do these slightly turned out. You can also do them feet together parallel or open parallel. I'm going to do 10 in Pilates stance and then 10 parallel. So arms can be at your hips, crossed in front, behind your head, or hold on to whatever support you need. So this is actually really heavy and sturdy. I can hold on to this. And bring the knee up, bring the knee down. Up and down. And down. I'm going to take my arms behind my head, working to keep my back in line. And we can go fast here, but what I'm really trying to do is be deliberate about trying to return my foot to the same spot every time and try to be really even on that standing leg. All right, I'm going to turn my feet. And I'm going to have my feet side by side because that is comfortable for me. If you have bunions or low back issues, take your feet wider. The reason I like to try to keep my feet side by side is because it's easier for me to then feel that yes, I am, or no, I am not returning my feet to the same position. If you need to keep your feet wider, what you can do is actually like make yourself a little box with maybe if you have a couple of rulers or, oh, I don't know, some masking tape and put that out so you have a track to keep your feet on. And again, it's not the end of the world if your feet go out of alignment. But sort of the practice here is to keep your steps
consistent. Are you going to do that all day, every day? Who's to say? Probably not. But it's nice to just practice that. And we've done more than 10, so we'll call it good. But I hope this helps you. If you sit all day, if you're just getting to a phase in life where you feel a little less mobile, I hope some of these work for you. And let me know how it goes. Have a great day.